Hi, boys and girls. Today we are reading Chapter 10 of Hachiko Waits. We only have a few chapters left. This book is not very long. So today, we are not reading Chapter 10. We are reading Chapter 9. So we are going to start Chapter 9 today. Here we go. One spring day, a few weeks after the cherry blossoms had bloomed, Yasu arrived at the train station a little before 3 o'clock. He was 16 years old now, and he wore a handsome navy blue uniform and a cap bearing his school's emblem over the brim. As soon as he stepped off the train, he went to the station master. "Come to my office, Yasu, and I will get you some food for Hachiko." The station master moved slowly now, and his hair was as white as the rice he scooped into Hachiko's bowl. "Today is a very special day. Do you know why?" Yasu thought for a minute. It was the 5th day of the 5th month. "Is it Tango no Siki?" he said to the station master. I'm not even sure if I said that right. "Yes, it is Boys' Day," Mr. Yashikwa said. "But there is another reason why today is special." Yasu thought again. "Is it your birthday?" he asked. "No." "Is it Hachiko's birthday?" "No, but it does have something to do with Hachiko. Today marks exactly 10 years that Hachiko's been waiting for the professor." 10 years? Yasu shook his head. "There has never been a dog as loyal as Hachiko," he said to the station master. Yasu took Hachiko's bowl of food and walked over to the platform. Hachiko was lying on his side with his head resting on the ground. He was an old dog now, and the golden brown fur around his muzzle had turned white. His left ear had begun to droop several years ago and was now almost bent in half. Hachiko had grown thin and was no longer able to sit up tall and straight. Sometimes he was too tired to climb the steps of the train station, and the yakitori vendor and the station master had to help him do it. Often he would be lying on the platform when Yasu arrived. Sometimes he was even asleep. So here is a picture that will be coming up here shortly that you'll get to see, similar to what was in the reading. "Hello, Hachiko," Yasu said in a gentle voice as he squatted down to pet the dog's side. He could feel Hachiko's ribs beneath his fur. "Wake up, little friend," Yasu said. "Do you know it's been 10 years that you've waited for the professor?" The Akita opened his eyes and stared at Yasu, but he did not lift his head. "Hello, little friend. What a good dog you are," Yasu said softly. "What a fine dog you are. Hachiko, you are the best dog in all of Japan." As he stroked the side of Hachiko's face with his fingertips, the dog's right ear tilted forward at the sound of an approaching train. "Do you want to get up, Hachiko?" Yasu asked. Hachiko looked at Yasu, and then with great effort he struggled to his feet. The train appeared around the bend of the tracks, pulled up to the platform, and ground to a loud stop. Hachiko looked at it, sat up as tall and as straight as he could, and opened his mouth. "Woof! Woof!" Hachiko barked loudly. "Woof! Woof!" Then, all with his strength gone, he sighed a great sigh and collapsed to the ground. "Hachiko!" Yasu cried as he watched the dog take a few shuddering breaths. His chest heaved up and down once, twice, 3 times, and then was still. Yasu ran to get the station master. "Hurry, we must help him!" he cried. Mr. Yashikwa came running. He knelt down by the dog and stroked Hachiko's great head. "It is too late," he said, his voice filled with sorrow. A small crowd gathered around Hachiko's body. The yakitori vendor took off his hoppy jacket and handed it to Yasu with a silent bow. Yasu took the jacket and tenderly covered the dog with it. Then he turned his head and blinked his eyes rapidly. He was almost a grown man now, and he did not want to cry. "Come with me," Mr. Yashikwa said. He brought Yasu into his office and had him sit down in a chair. The station master pulled up another chair for himself, and the two friends sat together side by side, without speaking, each deep in thought. After a while, the station master looked at Yasu. "We feel sad for ourselves because we will not see Hachiko anymore," he said, "but there is a reason to feel happy, too." "What is there to feel happy about?" Yasu asked, with eyes brimming with tears. "Hachiko is no longer old, and he is no longer tired," answered Mr. Yashikwa, who was a bit old and tired himself. "He has left his body, but his spirit is in a better place now." "Do you really think so?" asked Yasu. "I will tell you what I think," the station master said. "Makes me a little sad, because it makes you think about your own animals. So, My animals are getting old too, so it just makes me think about them. I will tell you what I think, the station master said, though it is far from traditional, and it may even sound foolish. Mr. Yashika paused and waited. And here's a picture. While a train pulled into the station. Do you hear that train? He asked. Yasu nodded. I have been around trains all my life, Mr. Yashikawa said, and I have come to believe that there is a special train to bring those who have obtained enlightenment up to heaven. Every day for the past 10 years, Professor Uno has met this special train to see if his beloved Akita-kin is on it. Day after day after day, he has waited up in heaven, just as Hachiko has waited here on earth. And today, when the special train reaches heaven and opens its doors, Hachiko will be the first one to step out. Just think how happy he will be to see his master again. Yasu smiled. He will lick the professor's fingers and then run in circles and make himself dizzy. Mr. Yashikawa smiled too and brushed away a tear. I will miss him very much. Yasu nodded and wiped his wet cheeks. So will I. Oh, so I'm okay. You might be thinking, why is she crying? I don't know. It just makes you sad. Thinking about your animals getting old and passing away. And some of you have probably experienced that. I have not had to experience the loss of a pet yet, but I know that that will come in time just because my dogs are getting older now. So don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Sometimes that happens when you read a book, and that just means it's a really good book. So I'll see you tomorrow.